What if I told you the secret to building a fortune comes down to just 4 simple rules? Well, today, we're cracking open the playbook of Patrick Bet-David, an entrepreneur who's built an empire worth around $450 million. So let's dive right in. Okay, first things first, and this is a big one, it's a total mental shift. You have to stop seeing money as this constant source of stress and start seeing it as a game. Seriously, just that one change in how you look at it, it's the foundation for literally everything else we're going to talk about. And every single game has rules, right? The game of money is no different. If you can master these 4, you're not just playing to get by anymore, you're actually playing to win. So let's break down that very first rule. So this first rule, it's all about your mindset. Instead of just worrying about money, you start thinking like a strategist. You're not on the sidelines anymore, just reacting to bills and whatever life throws at you. Nope, you're an active player. You're analyzing the board, you're looking for your next move, you're planning your offense. I mean, think about any video game you've ever played. You don't just boot it up and win on day 1, do you? No way. You practice, you learn the rules, you figure out a strategy. Well, that exact same dedication is what it takes to win the game of money. It's all about putting in the hours, sharpening your skills, and always looking for that edge. Okay, so once you've got that game-winning mindset, you're ready to make your first big move. But to do that, you need the right tool in your arsenal. And that brings us right to rule number 2. The power of having cash ready to go. And this next story from Bet-David's own life, it perfectly shows you what I'm talking about. Just imagine this. You get a call, completely out of the blue, with what could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Well, that's exactly what happened to him. And the item in question? A Wayne Gretzky rookie card. Now look, for those of you who aren't in the sports collectible world, you've got to understand, this is not just a piece of cardboard. This is considered the absolute holy grail for hockey collectors. It's a legendary item that people will literally chase for their entire lives. And we're not talking about just any collectible here. A similar card had just sold for almost $500,000. So yeah, the stakes were incredibly high, and this opportunity was absolutely massive. So what was the secret sauce? What allowed Bet-David to jump on this thing? It was simple, really. He had the cash ready to go. He didn't have to scramble, he didn't have to apply for a loan or sell off other stuff. He could just say yes and close the deal right then and there. He locked in a super valuable asset at a great price, all because he was prepared. That is the power of ready cash. All right, so you've got the mindset down and you've got the tools. But what's the actual goal of the game? Well, it's surprisingly simple. Double your money. That's rule number 3, and believe me, this is the engine that drives all of wealth creation. Let's just walk through this so you can see it. It all starts with a number that feels manageable. Let's say you have just $1,000 to invest. The goal here isn't some complicated percentage gain or anything fancy. It's just to turn that 1,000 into 2. That's your first double. You find an investment, maybe a small business idea, some kind of strategy. Whatever it is, it turns your $1,000 into 2,000. Feels pretty good, right? That's a solid win. And this is where it starts to get really exciting. Because you don't just stop at one double. You do it again. 2,000 becomes 4,000. 4 becomes 8. And before you even know it, you're starting to deal with some pretty serious numbers. And get this. Check out how this thing scales up. Getting to $1 million seems impossible, right? But with this rule, it's just 10 doubles. Just 10 successful steps. And here's the truly mind-bending part. The next 10 doubles, they don't just get you another million. Oh no, they take you from 1 million all the way to 1 billion. This whole concept just breaks down this astronomical goal into a clear, repeatable process. It's wild. But none of this, and I mean none of it, is possible without the final and maybe the most important rule of them all. This is the one that separates the amateurs from the pros. Patience. And I'm not talking about just a little patience. I mean extreme patience. Just think about this for a second. Back in 1994, if you'd put $50,000 into this little-known online bookstore called Amazon, today, that investment would be worth an estimated $15 billion. That's the power of patience. That is a reward for playing the long game. And here's another one for you. Imagine an investor puts $10,000 into a young Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, all the way back in 1964, and they just don't touch it. They just let it sit there and do its thing. Today, that small investment would be worth around $400 million. That's what happens when you just let a great investment run. So what's the magic behind these unbelievable returns? What's the engine driving all this? It's the force that Einstein supposedly called the eighth wonder of the world: compound interest. It's basically your money making money, and then all the money that money made making even more money. It's like a giant snowball of wealth that just gets bigger and bigger as it rolls downhill, and it's all powered by patience.
All right, so let's do a quick recap of Patrick Bet-David's 4 rules for winning. Rule 1, change your mindset. Money is a game. Rule 2, prepare your power play. Always keep cash on hand for those big opportunities. Rule 3, know your objective. Focus on that simple but powerful goal of doubling. And finally, Rule 4, master the winning move. Practice extreme patience and let compounding do the heavy lifting for you.
So there you have it, 4 simple rules to win the game of money. The only question left is, are you ready to play? Because the game is on and it's your move.